Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another wonderful, fabulous Ask an Engineer. It's me, Ladyada, the engineer. As you can tell by this thing here that says I'm the engineer. And we're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters here in downtown Manhattan. We're here in Soho, and this is our factory. We have equipment here. We just got a new reflow oven. It's super exciting.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season, a very busy time in the factory. People are over there shipping behind that wall.
Over 50,000 square feet in New York City of manufacturing capabilities.
And how many orders do we ship a day?
Well, depending on the day, it could be a couple thousand orders a day.
A couple thousand orders a day of delicious electronic goodness.
Yeah.
And that's what helps us buy all the camera equipment so we can do the show. So tell them about this show.
I'm glad you asked. All right, on tonight's show, the code is FM0 logger. There's lots of reasons that it's this code, but mostly it's the one that you type in. You get 10% all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight.
Everything except software and gift certificates.
Show and Tell, the world's largest show and tell online every single week. People showing and sharing their projects. Ladyada will tell you what was on the show and tell.
I can't wait.
Pack the mailbags and stop by and read a letter. This week's it's a tweet. Help wanted. I guess I can say this one too, the largest and only maker jobs board.
I'm going to say it's the best too.
Yeah, I think you can. Time travel, a look back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, and engineers. Wearables, 3D printing, Raspberry Pi, new products, we've got tons. We're going to answer your question. We're going to have a trivia question, all that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Ask an Engineer.
Yep. All right. Okay, let's pay some bills first.
I'm the engineer.
That's the song that we're recording soon.
Well, we do all these like almost daily Twitch and other streams, and I'm always bopping and dancing because I'm like waiting for my oscilloscope to boot up or like something to compile. Yeah,
we'll get to that soon. About the other shows we do?
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
All right.
So first up, let's pay some bills. We are supported by you, the viewer. No loans, no venture capital yet. None of those things. FM0 logger is the code, 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. We take Bitcoin. You did not invent Bitcoin. I know there's a hoax and a rumor going on.
You don't know I didn't invent Bitcoin. What do you know? What do you know what I do at night?
I'm pretty sure. Well, I know what you do at night because I film you doing from the desk of Ladyada.
Okay, but from 11 p.m. to midnight, you don't know what I do.
I could be
the mastermind of a global cryptocurrency revolution.
Okay, but we do take Bitcoin on our site. So anyways, so we still have the free deals going on right now. $200 gets you a free UPS ground. We got the $50 and $100 and $150 tiers. Check it out on our site, adafruit.com/free.
$100 you get that awesome perma-proto over there. Yeah. Awesome perma-proto half-size breadboard, super useful. $150 you get the Trinket 5V, the bestest AT-Tiny85 based Arduino IDE compatible board. $200 or more you get free UPS ground shipping, and then $250 you get that Pro Trinket over there.
Okay.
As supplies last. Enjoy the holidays.
Okay. Next
Think
up.
of all the great stuff you're getting.
Yeah. Next up, as far as shipping goes, we're still doing same-day delivery here in New York City. If you order before 11 a.m. Eastern Time and you're in a select zip code within New York, we have same-day option that's working out really well. Our shipping deadlines, keep in mind it is December 9th. So we're getting really close. So here's where we're at with the deadlines. Basically, you're starting to run out of time. UPS ground, you should place your order by this Friday. You should. There could be weather. There could be all sorts of problems. So,
because UPS ground doesn't have a guarantee. You want to make sure you get it by the 24th. Order by the 11th. And then, of course, if you need it a little bit faster, you want to wait a little longer, you can get UPS 3-day. You have until the 17th, 2-day the 18th, overnight the 21st. We do ship UPS expedite orders that are placed before 11 a.m. the same day. However, there can be delays because of UPS, because of weather, because of a truck. It falls over. And all your packages go spilling, and we have to send you another one. Don't wait till the day before. Give yourself an extra day or two.
Yeah.
So if we have to deal with UPS or send you another thing, you're not freaking out.
Yeah.
Don't freak out.
Up until recently, I answered every customer support email. So when you wait and your package is delayed because of a variety of things, and then you get
snow,
and then you get upset and you yell at like somebody behind the scenes like me who had nothing to do with it.
Or me when I was doing the support a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's it makes a lot of anxiety and stress on everybody. So
you want to be an enjoyable season.
Yeah, use the code right now, order now, and you'll be in a good spot. So 3-day you have until December 17th. 2-day you have until the 18th, which is Friday of next week. UPS overnight, December 21st, Monday. That's it, and that's it. I'm gonna say if you want something fast before the holidays, that's it. So your windows for first class international mail, that's over. That ended in November, and then December 5th, which was earlier in the week,
for
was
International Express
mail.
For USPS.
Yeah, so
you can still do UPS. International, check the shipping page for details. It's much more complicated, but basically, you want to order at least a week before, because remember you have to deal with customs, you have to deal with your home delivery. Stress-free holidays.
So that's the latest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Programming reminder: you are watching Ask an Engineer Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Show and tell we just did. And a programming reminder we've been doing from the desk of Ladyada. It is on YouTube Live, it's on Twitch, it's on Periscope, it's on Meerkat, and we've been doing this basically, it looks like Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
Those are good.
We've been doing those at night. We're testing
Sometimes
out.
on the weekends. We've been playing around.
We may eventually go to Twitch only to experiment with their partner program. But we'll see. So, anyways, if you want behind the scenes on all the stuff that you do, it's from the desk of Ladyada.
And it's like raw, unscripted engineering. Like you actually get to watch me do the things live as I'm doing them, which means you kind of see how I fix problems or create problems, debug stuff. A couple days ago, we did an awesome I2S amplifier breakout demo for the Pi Zero, and I was like learning about I2S and playing with Raspberry Pi. So it's usually like 40 minutes, or like I'll lay out a circuit board, or I'll explain a circuit board, or I'll send them out for manufacturer. So it's actually what I do. It's like my 45 minutes to do work at home at night. So you get to follow along. Yeah,
what's cool
I think it's fun. I'm there.
What's cool is
sometimes I play Fallout.
So you played Fallout, and we recorded that. What's funny is sometimes your projects are posted up online, and people doubt if you're an engineer and do the engineering. So now I just, the term is a link slap. And I say, here's her designing a board from start to finish. And then later on you get the board and then you test it. And it's all on the desk of Ladyada.
And you know what's funny is you know it's real because I make mistakes all the time.
Yeah, if you want to.
I'm actually I'll make mistakes and I'll be like, whoa, what did I do? And I go back and I fix it. Like it's not, I don't have a script. I'm not like lecturing to you. I'm actually just doing what I do on a day-to-day basis. It's
cool because it's very easy for me now to not have to explain what you do. I just send a link and they can watch it.
There's definitely a lot of EagleCAD. I try not to code. The one thing I don't do is I don't code because I think coding is boring to watch. Layout is more fun because you're like it's graphical, it's fun. Coding, it's like who's going to read the little text and like error messages? Not so much fun.
Yeah.
So not as much coding.
All right, so that's happening right now. Every few days.
Yep.
Okay. Show and tell. Okay, every week on Wednesdays right before this show we do show and tell. So you want to just go over who was on?
I will totally. I'm going to tell them. Why don't you do your thing?
Yeah, I do my thing.
Tony Cole will start off. He's from Adafruit South, Northwest, in the rainy Portland, Seattle area. Remember, somewhere over there. Coffee. And he worked on a NeoPixel plus color sensor plus proximity sensor ornament. It's going to go on his little Christmas tree. And so when you hold something up to this ornament, it'll change the NeoPixels on the LED. There's going to be like a spiral of NeoPixels. It'll make the tree LEDs that color. So if you have like a red box, you'll hold it up and it'll make the LEDs match. Also demoed off the Android app Circuit Playground, which we released yesterday, and he has got an Android phone. If you've been waiting for Circuit Playground for Android, we have it in the Android App Store.
It's big news.
We'll talk about it more, but please support it, because it's not free to port apps from iOS to Android. So
every single person that said, what about Android?
I expect you to.
Now's your chance to show that you really wanted it.
If show your support by purchasing a copy of the app. It's a really good app too. Known Pedro from Adafruit Southeast showed off their LED panel adapter that they're going to be showing off in more detail tomorrow. They basically made an adapter that takes Canon batteries and allows it to be used where normally you'd have Sony batteries. That's for a light we're going to be showing off later on as well. Check that out. 3D Thursday, every Thursday at 3 p.m. The best, longest running, coolest 3D printing show in the world. Tucker has a Christmas tree with a little mini Christmas tree with a speaker in it, and he's going to connect a wave shield and is going to play Christmas music and then maybe have some lights that go with the Christmas music. That is good. Seth is working on an ISSI LED PWM driver. He said it's maybe going to be, I think he said it's going to be a servo driver. Maybe it's going to be for his humanoid robot. Lon has an epic hat. He came by. It's this like super cool foam hat that's like really steampunky, and he had Phil B's the eyeball project with a filled eyeball that like looks around. So that's a cool thing to add on, and his little vent so it doesn't get too hot. And he said he just spent like 4 hours just using puff paint to make little rivets on it. And it's got this like feather band. It's got these skulls on it. Anyways, this is a freaking awesome hat. I would love this hat. Roberto has a multi-analog channel Java data visualization program that he showed off. So he's showing off his pulse and maybe a light sensor. So it's a project he developed earlier, but he's using it for this because he wants to debug his like pulse sensor for a robot costume that has like his heart rate on the front. And so he's using this to help him develop that project. Andrew showed off some Arduino Mega kits that he got for the Cub Scout troop. He's teaching Arduino, and he said the non-Cub Scouts, like the Scouts.
Yeah.
What's that after Cub Scout? Just like
Eagle Scouts?
No, I don't. You can tell I didn't do this stuff when I was a kid. Whatever, the next higher up Scout group.
Boy Scouts?
No, it's Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts.
Yeah, but they were jealous and they wanted Arduinos too. So he says everyone is getting very envious of Arduino and wants to do Arduino projects with their scouting group. And then C. Scott had the Chrominius APCB and a really freaking cool looking front panel with these blue knobs that look cool. And he's got the Vangelis synth. And we've got a record of Blade Runner with all Vangelis music on it. So like we're totally into that. And that was our show and tell.
Okay, all participants on the show and tell get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com and we will send you one in the mail.
It's a vinyl sticker. It's awesome. You should get as many as you can.
Yeah. To get on the show and tell, all you need to do is go to google.com/+Adafruit and look for the post every week. If you want, you can just show up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Post a link.
Yeah, and
Click that link.
And you can see the show and tell post. We're up to so many people that the invite can't go to all like 600-ish
We
folks.
broke Google.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, and so what we do is we post a link up right there. We also add you to the circle, so as Google updates and allows more than 600 invites at a time, it'll be okay.
There's just too many cool and awesome makers who want to show up on the show and tell.
Okay. Next up, as Ladyada mentioned, we released the Adafruit Circuit Playground for Android. It is here.
Yes.
Yeah. So Circuit Playground is the best engineering calculator and app out there.
Yeah, it has everything. It has pinouts. It has, of course, it has a resistor bar, color bar, and analyzer. That's so standard. But what else it has a capacitor readings, filter calculations, op-amp pinouts, Arduino pinouts and chip pinouts, and like LED calculators and all sorts of, I don't even remember what all this stuff, hardware calculators, number converters, power calculator. It has a lot. It has more than just your like resistor value calculator thing. And originally written by Colin Cunningham, who does Colin's Lab, and this port was done by K-Town and Antonio, who is an excellent Android developer. We paid him to do this port. So if you've been asking us to do more Android stuff, and we know you have because you've been emailing us incessantly, this is your chance to show that you actually want us to continue to.
If only like 2 people buy it, then our decision about future Arduino Android development is solved. Because the answer is we don't have to do it.
I'll be honest, it costs more than $5,000 to do the port.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't. I mean, and we love to do software and release it to the world, and I'm totally awesome and cool with that. But if you want to do more porting, we kind of have to budget in that at least 1,000 people would buy the app.
Yeah, I think there's about 2,000 people. So help get the word out. Hit the share button that I'm sure they put in there and track you on, and help get the word out. Okay, let's keep moving.
Rock on.
Next up, mailbag. Back to mailbag.
Hey there.
All right.
Mail. It's Happy Mail.
Yeah, this one came in as a tweet. This is from Brandon Hall, Wax's Practice. Every time I order from Adafruit, I'm amazed at how fast they ship. Great products and awesome tutorials. I buy from them whenever possible.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah, now here's a weird side story. So we read these at State of the Fruit, our weekly all-company meeting, and I'm like, oh, right, I remember Brandon Hall. I tried to hire him when he was like 19, and that's funny because I've known him for a while, and now he's writing on Twitter. I don't even think he knows that I do stuff with Adafruit. And he's like, hey, this is a great Adafruit thing, like they're so fast. And then because it's been such a long time ago, I actually forgot that I wrote a book with him. And so I wrote this book.
Like how your brain just didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh right, I got him to co-author a book with me. So it was called Flash Enabled, and which is kind of funny because Macromedia, which was acquired by Adobe, is basically saying like Flash is over. Like they don't even want to talk about it.
And as of this week, it's dead.
Yeah, they're like, we're sorry. So I wrote a book with a bunch of people, and we wrote about using something like Flash on mobile devices, way ahead of its time, and it was kind of cool. And there was, I think it's finally broken. There was an ATM that still had a Flash interface.
Yeah, the McDonald's ATM.
That I had worked on. So
well,
anyways.
you could go to that, Brandon, you go to the ATM that was running the software that you worked on with the book with Phil and take out $20 and buy him into Boost-Kit.
Yeah, anyways. On one hand, it's kind of sad when the things that you work on are killed off. The other thing that's sad is when it lasts way too long. So, okay. Next up, we're going to do, oh, funny. All right, Adafruit Jobs Board. Okay, this is a cool one. This is one of my favorite companies out there. If you want to work for Inventables, you can. In Chicago, senior software engineer at Inventables. This is a software engineer job at Inventables. You'll be leading engineering efforts for our web-based software used by our customers to bring all their ideas to life. You'll be working with our product team to understand how the software interacts with the hardware to improve our user experience. They want full stack development, Ruby on Rails, object-oriented, BDD, TD, agile processes, paired programming, JavaScript, CSS, Ajax, Linux, server stack, Apache, MySQL, Postfix, all of the above. It's a cool job if you want to work for one of the best maker companies I think out there.
I'm sure you get a free 3D router. They make these really cool routers that like they can do high precision. It's basically a CNC. You put a router on it. I can't remember the name of it. The Carby, I think. And it's their big bet. They're actually one of the oldest maker companies. They're actually probably the oldest maker supply company in existence other than Parallax.
Yeah. They
predate SparkFun. They had they would sell like microcontrollers and weird components and glass that was like thermoconductive and stuff. Very interesting. And then they've kind of pivoted into not only materials but also design their own finished products. Okay.
Next up, some news in the world of open source hardware. That's us. I got some odds and ends that I want to talk about. Don't forget, the Internet of Things is here.
The happy cloud entity.
And
does Nimbus have a jingle?
A song. I guess we could eventually make songs for everything. Don't forget, Adafruit.io is an open beta. You can make your own Internet of Things, product, service, whatever you want, using Adafruit.io. It's free, it's beta, it's right now. If you want to have something that push and pulls data, you can do it.
It's the best MQTT plus REST broker online. It has all the things built into it. It is becoming even more stable and awesome.
Okay.
It works with many, many platforms.
Yeah, so we got that going on. And other news in the world of Arduino, speaking of open source hardware, Arduino and Hackster.io did a really cool contest today, along with Microsoft. This is a new board. It's the Arduino MKR 1000. And in the US, it's Arduino. Outside the US, it's Genuino. And if you haven't checked out Hackster.io, you should. Adafruit's a partner with this. They're doing the largest maker challenge on Earth. That is the big news. They're going to be giving away 1,000 of these. So that's a big deal.
1,000. And we kicked in $1,500. Did we do that?
I think we're part of this. And
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys want $1,500 of Adafruit stuff? You should join this contest because you will get free stuff.
Yeah. So Atmel, Arduino, Adafruit, Microsoft, everyone's involved, and there's going to be 1,000 free boards, 3 Maker Faire trips around the world to showcase the makers, and then $1,500 in Adafruit gift cards on top of it all. So that is cool. I'm going to send this to the Hackster.io team right after the show because I said to them I will help get the word out. So anybody who's watching Ask an Engineer can probably get a free board. You're the type of people that want to get.
And did we just talk about a service that would work great with?
Here's the thing. All you have to do is submit your idea, and you'll probably get a board.
Yeah.
So go to Hackster.io. The submissions close in 37 days from now. You have plenty of time. You can do it. That's phase 1. And then there's big winners after.
And then you'll get one, and then you build the project.
Yeah. So anyways, free board. Okay. Adafruit Learning System. Ladyada, how many tutorials do you think are on the Adafruit Learning System?
I know we're getting close to 900, but we're not there yet. So it's like 890.
894.
894. Oh
Good
my
guess.
God, it's so close.
Okay. All right. Here you go.
This is Luma Lift Teardown. We're going to show a little video of this with Becky. We did this a while ago because you can tell my hair was not, had many roots. And we took apart this interesting sensor that it tells you whether you're slouching or not. So set it straight and have good posture. And this just shows you the teardown and photos of all that good stuff.
Okay.
And there's also a great video which we'll show you.
Excellent.
This is the SHT31D temperature humidity sensor from Sensoron. Sensoron, we'll talk about the sensor more, but basically it's a really, really high quality temperature humidity sensor. It's one of the better ones. It's true I2C. This tutorial has pinouts and how to assemble it, wiring and test, and we have Arduino library, of course, because we rock, and downloads, and it's great.
Okay, next up.
This is the project that Nona and Pedro are going to be showing off tomorrow and 3D Thursday. It's a 3D printed adapter that lets you use Canon batteries where normally something would want a Sony battery. And they're using it for their little light. It's like this. So like on the battery on the back, they make it so instead of, this is a Sony battery, instead you can use a Canon battery to plug it in. It's kind of nice, and they use our little adapters. Okay.
Next up, this is a new one that you just wrapped up today.
This is the tutorial for the Feather M0 ADA logger. There's so many feathers. This is now the 5th feather. We have the 32U4 basic, the M0 basic, the Huzzah ESP266 feather, the M0 ADA logger, and this is the this is the 6th one. And we have the 32U4 Bluefruit, and then now this is the M0 ADA logger. So this is the 2nd M0 one. So this is a Cortex M0 chip, the ATSEM D21G18, which is a chip that's about the same price as the Atmega 32U4 and has USB built in, but also has 256K of flash, 32K of RAM. It runs at 48 megahertz. It's got a DAC. It's got tons of ADCs. The ADCs are more precise, or 12-bit. It's just an awesome chip all around. It's the chip used in the new Arduino Zero. It's a good leap from the Arduino Uno chip to that chip, and so we really liked this. I think it's a nice upgrade to the 32U4. So this feather, talk about more, but basically the tutorial just shows you how to use the SD card, how to talk to the bootloader, how to install support, and you can basically do Cortex M0 like processing, DAC, reading, writing off the SD card, all that good stuff.
All right, next up, time travel. We look back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, and engineers.
Back in time.
Back in time. Okay, so tomorrow is a special day. It's someone's birthday. Ada Lovelace turns 200 years old.
Wow, that's awesome.
She's doing good. Here's a quote from her. "This brain of mine is something more than merely mortal, as time will show." It's true.
Time has shown it.
For those who don't know, Ada Lovelace is celebrated as one of the world's first computer programmers. She made that leap about an algorithm, how it could be used to write code.
She came up with the idea of like or researched the idea of how you would program an algorithm into a machine. And she said just like the Jacquard loom, which has punch cards that would create patterns, she's like, well, maybe we could use that same system to tell like a computing device, like this engine, how to multiply two numbers together. At the time, there weren't any computers, so it's kind of cool that she came up with this idea.
Yeah, it was a big leap. And if you read her writings, which are available now, and more stories about her, absolutely brilliant. also filled with tragedy and like sickness and drug use and basically it didn't last too long. Yeah, it didn't last too long back then. But you can have a big impact. So right now there's celebrations going around the world. I think this is a bus called Ada Lovelace, and this is happy 200th birthday. This is the world's first computer programmer.
Take that bus.
Yeah, and then I didn't know this. There's a movie called Conceiving You.
I saw this movie.
You saw this? This is news to me.
It's a little bit of a weird movie.
Yeah,
it's like
anyways.
It's a little interesting.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that came out.
Tilda Swinton as a lady.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, wow, they casted pretty well. So one of the things that you get asked a lot is about like women in tech, and most of the time when reporters talk to you, they're like, what is it like being a woman in tech? And what do you usually say?
You have to put in a special compile flag into GCC if you're a woman. Guys don't know this. But basically we have our own make files.
Yeah. All right.
Lady make files.
So we have a post coming up tomorrow, and what we have is ways to make more Adas. Maybe more people like you. Maybe more Ada Lovelaces.
There's enough of me's, but maybe more Ada Lovelace type people.
I would like it if there was more people like you.
Okay.
It would be fun.
Then there's competition now. I haven't compete with these
people. So we're going to post this up, and basically we hope these suggestions, one, we continue to do them, and we also hope these suggestions people out there consider and do. So if you're just a regular person, there's always a kid in your life, a young person, young girl that's tinkering, and that's the opportunity to spark that. It's like a flame that you can start to, build it into something that they're going to have the rest of their life.
A raging forest fire of engineering.
So one of the things that we found is if young people see someone that they can imagine themselves being, then they can go after that. So if they see someone like you, it's a young girl, this has happened, we've had parents email us. They said, oh, my daughter wants to be like you. They can imagine themselves. So getting examples out there. So on the Adafruit site, we have an Ada Lovelace category. And if you know someone, especially a young girl who wants to go into the STEM field or STEAM, I know there's debate because we all can't get along. We have to fight about STEM and STEAM now. So if you want, show all those people. And if you work at a company, one of the things, I'm going to go down the list here. If you work at a company, try to encourage the company that you work for to have diversity in leadership. All sorts of different people. Be super inclusive because that's how change starts. Mm-hmm. And so the company values that people have, those are important too. So make sure folks know them. So we thought that was a good one. And this again is like, it's a huge, so we've had 200 years since Ada. So with the next 200 years, if you're a venture capitalist, invest in women-owned and led companies, only 3% do.
Yeah.
So that's pretty low. And then also, if you are someone who invests in companies, we have a Maker Business newsletter, and we also talk to a bunch of venture capitalists. One of the things that we suggest is, hey, instead of investing in a company and then waiting until there's 100 dudes, and then saying, oh, we should probably do something and have like more than just 100 dudes, why don't you, in addition to make suggestions about how to grow the company, say, here's how to have diversity from the start. Mm-hmm. So here's money, here's funding, but you have to have this in place before we give it to you.
Yeah.
So the other thing, if you're a customer, if you're just someone who's going to go onto a website, if they're doing things that help make more Adas, support them, encourage them. There's lots of cool women-led companies, owned companies, support them. That way they don't go out of business. If you're an online community, work in the comments to make it a safe place to share your projects. That's kind of one that.
Oh, boy, I'm yawning. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so boring.
No, it's not. I'm a little tired.
No, I'm pretty boring. And so one of the things, so I started a website a long time ago, Hackaday. I've since handed it off. Sometimes the comments there are a little intense, and people say, I don't want to post my project up because I'm worried about the comments that I see about other people, specifically sometimes you, because
yeah, they hate me there.
Well, no, you're a high-profile female engineer, and the last time you were up there was debated if you did engineering. So the Desk of Ladyada kind of solves that. We showed that you're actually doing engineering, and by doing that, we made content. So if you're someone who owns a website and you want to have great people showing up, make sure that you have a policy and you enforce it. Mm-hmm. you can't really.
And a non-crummy policy.
Yeah, you should have a policy. Look, if there's toxic jerks, you got to get them out. Mm-hmm. That's the rule.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that's pretty much it. If you're an event, make sure you have speakers and people that are different, not all the same. If you're a journalist, maybe don't always ask what it's like being a woman in tech.
They don't do that as much anymore. It's funny, actually, the women do it more than the guys these days.
Yeah. Next up, if you're a publication, like a technology magazine, what you put on the cover matters. That's how magazines signal what's important to the magazine and what's important to the audience and community out there, or what they might want to consider.
Actually, it's funny. Jason Sky's, he's posting up photos
of
Wired, and and it's awesome because it's so, he's just like, it's just basically like, all the covers have like telecom CEOs on it, and then like an anonymous woman who's just like a prop.
Well, you were the first female engineer on the cover of Wired, and that's it.
But there was like 10 telecom, like he's right, there's 10 telecom CEOs that were on the cover.
Yeah.
Yahoo CEOs.
The next one was Megan Smith, CTO of America, MIT engineer. Yeah. So that was just this year. So that's the two of you. So make it a cultural priority within an organization if you work for media publication to celebrate the women out there that are making cool stuff. So if you're someone out there, especially if you've gone through some challenges with being a woman in tech, she's here. We're not going away. You have a really good support network. And we have a great staff.
I've got this lady make file.
You got this lady make file. So those are things I wanted to spend a little bit of time on it because it's Ada Lovelace Day. It's 200 years. Mm-hmm. There's an Ada Lovelace. It's Ada Lovelace's 200th birthday. There's an Ada Lovelace Day. It's starting to gain traction around the world, and it's cool. We're seeing a lot of positive change. It's slow, and we're impatient, and I wish it was faster and better, but we'll see. So we're here. We're not going away. That's that. Okay, next up. Wearables. We have a full Lumo Lift teardown video.
Take it away, Bex.
Take it away.
Welcome to another Adafruit Wearables teardown. Today we're taking a look at the Lumo Lift. It's a posture sensing wearable you attach to your shirt with a magnet, and it vibrates when you slouch. The companion app has some rudimentary activity tracking, as well as tracking your number of hours with good posture. If you're a desk jockey like me, this can come in handy to help protect you from back pain and other posture-related problems. The oval-shaped wearable goes on the inside of your shirt, and it's held in place with a really strong magnet. It comes with a couple different styles to go with your different outfits, including a bra clip for the ladies. This tiny device has a lot of computing power packed inside, so let's see what Ladyada has to say about the design of the board.
Okay, we're here with the Lumo Lift. Got excellent posture thanks to this lovely wearable. It's a really interesting and fun design. It's a little kind of a bean shape with a bunch of chips on the front of here, and then we have your LiPo rechargeable battery on the back and a little buzzer vibration motor. Becky took us apart so we can go straight and look at the chips. So let's look at the top of the circuit board first. Okay, under the microscope. So let's start over here. We've got the NRF 8001. This is a classic early Bluetooth Low Energy chip. We've carried a breakout for this little chip for quite a while. It does Bluetooth Low Energy, so it works with Android and iOS and basically desktop computers as of Windows 8 and Mac as well. So that's a good protocol choice. This is controlled by over here. There's the actual processor. This is the EFM32 Gecko. This is a Scilabs chip. These are fun little chips. They're a good price, and people who like Scilabs processors will dig these. On the side here, there's a little crystal for it. So this is actually what does all of the button listening, controlling the SPI interface for the Nordic NRF 8001 Bluetooth chip, as well as any data storage or all that other good stuff. So that processor has a programming port over here. You can see SWD, SWC, so this is some sort of maybe a Cortex ARM chip over here. That's a pretty standard programming procedure for them. Reset VCC ground, so this is your little programming and debugging port. Over here we have this pretty big chip that says Winbond 25032. Well, this is a pretty standard 8-pin SPI flash, the 25 series SPI, 24 series I2C. So it could be, maybe there's no EEPROM or other sort of storage on this chip, so you're going to use this external chip for storing data. Maybe this keeps track of your slouching or posture history, and that's done in here. So you've got the Bluetooth that's communicating with your phone. You got a 16 megahertz crystal over here that goes with it. And then over here is our familiar favorite, the LIS3DH, which is the triple axis accelerometer, pretty low cost, only about 50 cents, used all the time for everything, very low power, but has a very wide range of function from plus or minus 2G up to plus or minus 16G. And then over here, there's another little chip, not so sure what this is, but it's really close to this motor driver. So I'm gonna guess that this, here you have M and M minus. This is probably a motor driver, either a smart processor chip that can actually do like effects, or it could be just like a straight up transistor that's just used to turn it on or off, depending on how smart they want to do the motor management inside the processor. And then over here we have a little bit of analog stuff. It's probably voltage regulators, battery charging. There's a couple of test points for the battery and USB. And then here is a little tactile switch that's just made with a dome and then a piece of tape. So they just tape the dome on top. You kind of see the tape over here. And then this is what listens for button presses. I also have like a teeny little LED over here. You can barely see this little shiny point. And then this is the antenna for the Nordic NRF 8001. This is your Bluetooth Low Energy antenna. It's interesting that they didn't decide going with, what we've seen a couple times is that NRF 51822, which would combine this processor and this processor. Could be that this was designed earlier, or maybe the person who designed this was like, well, the combined price is about the same, and I know the EFM32 processor way more. It's all good. And then on the back, you've got these two pads. These connect to those little pogo springs that allow you to recharge the battery. And then this is the battery, which is soldered right on. It's a standard little LiPo, 80 milliamp hour, comes from Shenzhen, Honghao Sheng Electronics. You can call them up, ask them all about it. And there's a little bit of tape that just kept this down. Date code when this was made. Looks like this was made in the 20th week of 2015. And then the place that actually made it, Kangyu, not sure exactly. And then, of course, that little buzzer motor. So that's it. It's pretty much just, your kind of standard 32-bit processor, NRF 8001 Bluetooth Low Energy, a little bit of data storage, and then, of course, the accelerometer. The accelerometer is what detects your tilt. This is going to measure how that board is affected by gravity. You calibrate it, and then looks for deviations plus or minus a certain percentage or degrees from that calibrated point. I think the LIS3DH even has an alert system that allows you to tell it, hey, warn me when I move more than this much deviation from my starting point. So maybe that's a way to reduce the power. You don't have the processor sitting there constantly polling. You actually have the accelerometer maybe alerting you. So it's a simple design, nice and compact, really cute little layout. Altogether, a cute little posture sensor.
For this and many other teardowns, we use these tools and the Adafruit USB microscope with its articulated stand. Thanks so much for watching. You can find more wearables teardowns at the playlist in the description, and don't forget to subscribe.
Okay, and every single Wednesday at 2 p.m., there's Wearable Electronics Becky Stern, the longest running and best wearable electronics show in the world.
Ever.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Don't forget, today Colin was on the show. Next up, 3D printing. We had Ultimaker visit the other day. Mm-hmm. That was cool.
They make that one of the highest quality printers around.
Yeah, we've got...
we carry the Ultimaker?
Yeah, we got those in our store. So we want to do some cool stuff with them. But speaking of cool stuff, here is a video from Noah and Pedro.
Coming up, LED panels. So we just got these new LED panels in the Adafruit shop, and the cool thing about these is they have a high CRI rating. This basically means that it can reproduce a lot of colors much more accurately. These are really handy for taking photos and of course video projects because it's pretty small and portable. It also features an adjustable color temperature and brightness, which makes it really good for configuring for all sorts of lighting conditions. Ah, it's so bright! So these LED panels actually use the Sony type of batteries, which are pretty common, but we have a lot of these Canon batteries. So we thought we'd do is we'd 3D print a battery adapter to make it work with our Canon LP-E6 batteries. We actually already have the Canon battery holders in the Adafruit shop, so all we had to do was design an adapter that converts the back connector to fit on the back of the LED panel. Now to 3D print the adapter, all we had to do was orient the part face down and use a little bit of support material. The two wires can be threaded through the adapter by desoldering the connectors, and once we've pulled the wires all the way through, we can just solder them back on. This also comes with a nifty adjustable hot shoe adapter, but it also has a standard tripod mounting hole, so you can pretty much mount it to all sorts of camera gear, just like our 3D printed tripod adapter and swivel head. So there you have it, a quick look at the LED panels and a small project. If you guys have any specific questions about these LED panels, be sure to check out our project page, which is listed below, or drop us a comment and we'll answer your questions on our live show that's on YouTube every Thursday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. But until then, remember to keep on baking. Look how bright that is. Eye blinding. It's good.
Okay.
All right, so that's 3D printing.
Yes, every Thursday, 3 p.m. Watch it. It is the best, longest running, awesomest 3D printing show in the world.
Just tomorrow.
No question.
Okay, for Pi Day, I thought it would be good for you to talk about a tutorial that you did. And this was from one of the Deaths of Ladyada shows that we did. Like, you showed how you did this live. You were able to do audio output with the Pi Zero.
Yeah, this is the, I did two, actually I did two videos. One is analog PWM audio out, and one is digital I2S audio out. This one is, it's actually a follow-up on my Pi Zero kind of like a tutorial that I wrote at like 2 in the morning when the Pi Zero came out. So the Pi Zero doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack in it. It only has, USB, HDMI, micro SD. It does have TV, but it doesn't have the stereo audio out. And so you're like, oh, this is sad. I want to have audio, and like you can get audio through the HDMI port or through I2S, but like maybe you just want to have like some basic audio. You don't have to have the highest quality. Well, you can redirect the PWM pins that normally do the analog audio from pins 40 and 45, which are not broken out, to pins, I think, like 13 and 19, which are available on the GPIO header. And then just do a little bit of configuration, a little bit of startup code, and then you put an RC filter on those 2 pins, and basically you convert the 40 megahertz or whatever it is PWM output to analog output, and it worked great. We played some video or some audio through it, and it basically replicates identically what the headphone audio jack is. So really handy if you just want to use the Pi Zero in a project. You only need like 2 or 3 capacitors and resistors. You probably have them in your bench desk already, and to add audio to your Raspberry Pi Zero.
Okay. So before we hop into new products, the code is FM0Logger. Once again, we are customer supported by you, the customer out there. So let's do new products idea.
Right.
Here we go. All right, first up, NeoPixels.
Okay, these are NeoPixels, but they're little NeoPixels. So we have these new 35 LED NeoPixels. That means they're 3.5 millimeter by 3.5 millimeter, and then a 5 by 5, which means they are half the size. If you multiply it out, it's exactly half the surface area of the large NeoPixel, which you see on the left. So on the left, that's the standard, and then this is the mini. And then on the overhead, I actually have a little shield that I built with this. I'll show that project later. So this is, hold on, let me turn this off to start. So you can see that these are much smaller, so you can fit almost twice as many. So before I had a 3 by 6 matrix, and now I can have a 4 by 8. And this is them at 1/5 brightness, and they're still very, very bright. They're the same brightness as normal NeoPixels. They're just smaller. And right now we're just selling them as individual LEDs. You get a strip of 10. You can solder them by hand. They seem to be more durable than normal NeoPixels, so you can solder them a little bit better by hand. And yeah, I did this in the reflow oven. It was pretty easy, and it just lets you pack more pixels.
Okay.
And we have them in a white plastic and also kind of a black plastic. So if you have a black PCB, get these. I mean, you still have the white circle, but it just gives you a little bit more
it's cool.
contrast.
Look, anytime you can add more black to something is better.
Yeah.
We all agree.
Yep. But yeah, basically it's completely compatible with the NeoPixel. And here you can even see the chip is the same pretty much.
Yeah.
You have the 3 dots. It just doesn't have the full plastic body.
Okay, accept. Cable.
These are cool though.
I know.
These are totally cool and weird. And when I saw them, I was like, oh my God, I gotta have these. So these
I like our little cable collection.
Yeah, these are funny. So these are cables, and they're USB cables. So like you plug them into a USB port or a computer, or one of those like USB battery packs that you get that like charges your phone, and it gives you 9 or 12 volts out. It has a little boost converter in the center, and it can actually give you like up to 700 milliamps out, and the efficiency is about 90%. But if you want to power something that usually uses 9 or 12 volts because it has like some motorized thing, or just has a regulator and it needs a higher voltage, 9 or 12 volts, this will do, and it kind of is cute. You just plug it into USB and off you go, and it doesn't do any sort of USB calculation. So if you have a bunch of AA's, you can also use this as a booster to give you from about 4 to 6 volts up to 9 or 12. So you can use it as a normal boost converter if you want, but it's designed basically to be used with stuff with USB ports.
Okay, and then there's another one that is.
It's the same. There's a 9 volt and a 12 volt. So this one is 12 and the other one's 9.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's funny, but you can get like 500 to 700 milliamps of 9 volt or 12 volt, and it's pretty stable.
That's cool.
At 700 milliamps, it droops, but at 500, you get the voltage you expect out of it, and it's fairly well filtered.
Okay, and then these are super cute. We have a couple of these. These are the faceplates. Yeah, these are the faceplates.
So we've had our really nice cases for the Raspberry Pi, and like this is the clear case, for example. And we've had toppers, and now we have toppers specifically for our Pi TFT. So here I've got a keyboard, but basically you get that touch screen, the Pi TFT. This is the 2.8-inch version, and then you also have these buttons on the side that you can use as GPIOs. You can sort of see they stick out, and you can press them, and they connect to GPIO, so you can do stuff. But basically you get like a touch screen, and you have a nice bezel on it, and it fits in place, and it just plugs right onto our case, so you can swap it on or off. So that's kind of nice. And it works with the B plus or Pi 2. And then if you have an A plus Pi, you can use the same, a similar topper. We have the version that's for the A plus, and likewise you have like the 5 button pads, so you can have buttons. And then here I'll shut down this one. So let me shut down. So you can see you can also just use it as a text display.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is shut down, and then I didn't boot this one up, but I'll see if this boots. So this one's really cute. It's the 2.4-inch, and it's also a touch display. And this is for the A+. So we have like a little mini version if you want to make, upside down. If you want to make the cutest little portable text and get buttons at the top. And yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll make one for the Zero as well. But so far, this is good, and this basically just lets you have a nice bezel, because people are asking for some sort of a custom case. And so this is our solution. Instead of having a custom case, you just have a custom bezel.
Okay. All right. And then
you can log in.
Yeah.
Keyboard.
And we have some nice photos. And if you wanted to see.
It only comes in black, and you pick the color of the bottom. You only get the topper and the little buttons. So we just show it with a clear case, but yeah, just basically get whatever case bottom you like, and snap your Pi 2 or Pi B+.
Okay. And we have the other photos from the other one. Okay, so we're turning the corner, almost there at the end of new products.
Yep.
It's time for a board they made.
Thank you for showing off all that. Well, and that case was designed by Mike Dole. I just want to give props to Mike Dole, who designed our cases and also designed the topper. This is the SHT31 digital humidity sensor. Okay, so you're probably thinking, Ladyada, you have like 8 bazillion humidity and temperature sensors. Why do you have another one?
You do, it's a problem.
I know, it's a little bit of a problem.
They're everywhere.
Yes. But this is actually, I think, worth the breakoutness. So the SHT31Ds from Sensoron, they make like really, really high accuracy, high precision humidity and temperature sensors. This is the most accurate humidity and temperature sensor. It has plus or minus 2% relative humidity, 0.3 degrees Celsius temperature. And what's nice about this is we've had a bunch of like Sensoron sensors before, and they're always like this really messed up protocol that's like not I2C, but uses 2 wires, but it's like this weird bit bang. It's just really bizarre. So this is finally a true I2C, compatible with all I2C master protocol, whatever. It doesn't use clock stretching, thankfully. I just put a delay in, and it has multiple precision levels and like repeatabilities and whatever. The library just basically sets it to the most precise, most repeatable. Can run on a 3 volt or 5 volt power and logic. So it's a really nice, extremely small sensor. It's a very good price. And yeah, it's definitely like the most accurate. And it's a good upgrade if you've been using other Sensoron sensors like the SHT10 or SHT11 or 15 or 21. Like they've made a ton of these. I really like the D.
Okay.
SHT31D.
All right, a couple more photos, and then we're almost through new products. I have one more after this next one. So this is the light panel.
Yeah, we actually got these for the photographers and videographers here. We got these small and large panels, but we just wanted to carry them in the store in case people wanted them. They basically take a camcorder battery in the back. It's a standard Sony camcorder battery. And what I like about these is you can adjust the temperature of the light, so it can be warm or cool. So can you just show?
Yeah.
So this is the cool white, and then warm white, and you can adjust between the two. So there's a knob in the back that you can twist between.
That's nice.
3200 and 5600K, and I think my batteries. Oh no, I got my light on, so I can. I don't know if I can show this on the overhead.
Just show it.
But basically, okay, so you've got this, and then
yeah.
yellow, and then cool, yellow, and then cool, and then you can dim it as well. And it gives a nice, even light, extremely bright, but not. I mean, like I don't want to blind people, but it's extremely bright, but also.
I've seen too much anyways.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing more to see. And it fits on top of a camera. And like we don't usually sell AV stuff, but this is probably very handy for makers who just want like some sort of good quality, even light to photograph projects or video projects. Pretty much everybody who does videos and photos for the Adafruit group wanted one of these. So I was like, okay, let's pick up a bunch, and then I got a couple extra, put them in the store.
Yeah, okay. Next up, star of the show, besides you this week, is the Feather Zero Logger. That's what the code was. Yay! So
Why
this is
was there the code? This is it. It's the latest. This is the 6th of the Feather mainboards. We're going to be doing the Feather wings next. We're going to have some more Feather mainboards, but we're going to go to wings for a little bit. And this is an M0 Cortex M0 processor, the same one that's used in the Arduino Zero, the ATSAM21D G18. It's a really nice 32-bit ARM Cortex M0 processor, M0 Plus processor. We put it on this really nice standard sized board that's kind of our standard pinout, so it'll work with all the wings and shields and stuff. It has a USB native, and it shows up like a USB device, and you can do serial, and you can, apparently you can also make it look like a mouse or keyboard, although I don't know that code that hasn't ported yet, but apparently eventually it will be. We added USB and LiPoly, so you can plug in a LiPoly battery and it will charge the battery or run off of it. So you can make portable projects very easily. We released a version as a prototyping area, and this version removes that prototyping area and instead gives you a micro SD card. Micro SD card is connected to the pins that are not exposed on the breakout, so you basically get SD card reading or writing, and very handy if you want to do data logging. That's why I call it the ADA logger. We can also do stuff like read like a WAV file off it and play it through the DAC of this chip. What's nice about this is it's a very powerful chip. You get a ton of flash, a ton of RAM, so it's actually kind of the first chip where it's like you can really use the SD library and not worry about running out of memory because you get 32K of RAM with this chip, and the SD card library uses about a K, so you're like totally golden. Like you can use this, not a problem, and it's just like another feather in our cap, as it were.
Yeah.
And I like this one. I kind of like this chipset. Where not every Arduino library works with it, but most of them do. It's got good solid support, and it's fast running at 48 megahertz. So really good if you want to do some sort of like intense data logging. This is a good option.
All right, and with that, Ladyada is new products. You did it. Good work.
Yay.
Congratulations, new products is over.
More feathers.
Yeah, you got a lot. Okay.
Next week is definitely featherwing.
Yeah.
Feathering time.
Okay, don't forget the code is FM0Logger all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going to answer your questions now.
Questions time. Hit me
Post in the chat.
with your questions.
Yeah, answer your questions. Okay, what's the proper way to shut down a Raspberry Pi?
The proper way to shut down a Raspberry Pi is either if you're logged into X, so you're the graphical operating system going on, the front end going on, go to the top left corner and then like click the, I think it's a Raspberry logo, and then select shutdown from the menu and then say, yes, I want to shut down. And then it will like truly turn, it'll say like, power off. And if you're at the text console, either from SSHing in or serial console or whatever, type in sudo shutdown -h now, so it's basically halt, and that will properly shut down the Pi.
Okay, this one is, we can't really answer yet because we haven't got a chance to play with all these, but between a Raspberry Pi Zero, chip $9 computer, and Pine A64, which one do you find most interesting and why?
Well, right now, like the Pi Zero is the only one that exists, so I'm kind of having fun with that, and I think it has the most projects because you can basically adapt so many Raspberry Pi projects to it. I do like the chip, though. I like that it has a built-in Wi-Fi. Like, that's kind of cool, and I have no idea what the A64 is. I hope it's like a Commodore 64 that's just like this big. That's what people really want. They want a Commodore 64 that they can put in their pocket.
Okay, will we ever see a heart sensor breakout?
We do have a few things that can do heart rate sensing. So we have that pulse sensor that you can clip onto your ear, and that's a good one. We also have a polar receiver set, and so we also, I think, sell the transmitter. So it's the polar heart rate transmitter. You put it around your chest, and then it wirelessly transmits your pulse to the receiver. And it's actually a pretty effective and easy way to do it, and then you don't have to worry about leads or anything. So I would check those two. Those are like two really good ways of doing it. We don't have any systems that attach to your body, like with electrodes.
Next up, do you ever bother trying to hand solder the SAMD21 QFNs, or do you always just reflow them?
Oh, I totally hand solder them. Yeah, you can reflow them, and we do use the reflow, but you'll still need to touch them up anyways. But use paste. We have a tutorial on SMT prototyping. Use a little bit of paste, and then you just sort of hold it down with the point of your tweezers, and then you get centered, and then you swipe to get the QFN leads connected. Now, what's interesting is I used to think QFNs were much harder than QFPs, and nowadays I actually think QFNs are way easier. You can really drag on a QFN. You don't have to worry about bending the pins. As long as your PCB is good, you don't want to bear down on the PCB, but you do a quick drag, and you'll get nice little fillets on your QFN as long as it's a 0.4 or 0.5 millimeter pitch or higher, which most QFNs are. Whereas QFPs, when you do drag soldering, it's easier to get that first pin tacked, but when you drag, you risk bending the leads. Yeah. And then once they bend, it's like really hard to unbend them. So I actually kind of like, I prefer actually soldering QFNs now, as long as you can get the pads on the outside, and the SAMD21 G18 has the pads go all the way around. If it has the pads only on the bottom, like some sensors, then yeah, you have to reflow them or use hot air. Okay. But if the pads come around the edges, you just drag solder. Okay. At State of the Fruit, we do hug reports. Instead of bug reports, we do hug reports to give shout outs to people. So Eric, who asked that question, always asks really good questions. Good work, Eric. Thanks. You know what? I got to remember that. When people consistently ask good questions, I say, you ask really good questions. Thanks for asking good questions. Yeah. Anyways, good Nobody ever asked me that question. Yeah. Congratulations. All right. So we only got a few more minutes, so I can answer this one. How do you post a guide on Adafruit Learning System? Well, first, post a guide somewhere so we can see your guide writing style to make sure that it's good for the Adafruit Learning System. Because if it's on the Adafruit Learning System, the expectations are really high. So post it on Instructables or a blog or wherever else, and then send us a link to it so we can check it out. Because then we can make suggestions, and then after that, we can magically turn on the posting privileges. Any account, technically,
can be an authoring account. We just have to turn that on for each person who has an Adafruit account. Okay, next up. Can you do a short explanation on the difference between a transistor and a relay? Or is
I can. So the thing about a relay is it's a mechanical switch. And when you turn on and off a relay, it basically uses a magnet to touch two pins together. So it's mechanical. It's a mechanical connection. When a transistor, you turn on a transistor, to the shortest approximation I can, what you're doing is you're making a path for current to flow through. But that current only flows through one direction. It's not it can only go in one way. And so if you're trying to turn, and also you still have a shared ground, like it's electrically still part of the system that's triggering it. Whereas what's nice about a relay is it's completely isolated. There's an air gap. So whatever's controlling the thing that's on the relay, you don't have to worry about like any power flowing between the two. Whereas there is a little bit of power that flows between, very, very small amount that flows in or out from a transistor that's controlling a load. So basically you want to use a relay when you're dealing with high voltages or things that you want to have separated, or you're not sure that you can have a transistor because it might affect the circuit. A relay is a completely isolated method of connecting two traces.
Okay.
That's 2 seconds.
You did a pretty good job there.
Thanks.
Okay, next up. I think we're going to wrap up, but
Okay.
What single board do you know that's the thinnest? They want to make a smartwatch. That's a tough one.
You know, I don't know. I know that the Pi doesn't run Android, and I think the BeagleBone Black run Android, but that's not small enough. The chip might, because it's an all-winner, and like all-winner boards run Android. That's like what they were designed to do. In fact, the chip might by default run Android. I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Okay. All right. We're going to wrap up.
Okay.
Those are the questions. Good work, Ladyada. We're here every week. You can ask more. Let's do a trivia question. What do you want to give away?
We're going to give away an Adalogger M0 Feather.
An Adalogger M0 Feather? You mean?
Or Feather M0 Adalogger.
You mean this?
That thing.
Wow. Okay.
You get it.
All right. This week, whoever posts in the channel first wins. What are the rules?
The rules are the first person to post the correct answer in the chat, according to Phil as he sees it, is the winner. You only get one winner per. Sorry, there's only one winner per my lifetime. So if you have won something from the show, you can't win again. I don't care if you changed your name. I don't care if you've been spiritually reborn. It doesn't matter. Don't type in the answer. Don't give people hints. We want to give everybody a chance. So just sit on your hands and be patient so that everyone gets a chance to feel smart. The prize today is the M0 Feather. And what is the question?
Okay, the question is, what year was Ada Lovelace born? Pretty easy. We talked about this like a lot of the show.
Type in the year
Yeah.
that Ada Lovelace, not me. I don't care when I was born. When was Lady Ada Lovelace?
Yeah, the other one.
Countess of Lovelace, or whatever.
Yeah, what year? All right, presents in Twitch, you won. Congratulations.
Nice work,
10th.
presents.
Yeah, presents December 10th, 1815.
You went even further. You totally
won.
Gave us the date. We didn't ask the date, but you
That's fine.
went above and beyond.
Extra information is good.
You won.
Presents, email, support@adafruit.com. Tell them you won the Feather M0 data logger. Do you have a product ID on there?
Yes, 2796.
2796 is the product ID, and that would be really helpful to tell the team. Okay, well, that's the show.
Good work telling that this was coming. You are paying attention.
Yeah, that's the show for tonight, everyone. Thanks so much for coming by. We're here every week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesdays. Thanks so much. Thank you to the Adafruit team members. Thank you all of the remote folks who make the show possible and show up each week. Thank you all of the customers and community. Thanks for, listening. We're trying to do some...
Thanks for being cool.
Yeah, we're trying to do some things, and you guys are helping. So thanks you.
Thanks for asking good questions.
Yeah, we got some good questions.
Thanks for emailing the mailbag.
Yeah.
It really helps because we have to do every day this thing that we're doing.
So this all company meeting thing that we do, maybe I should start to extend it to a little bit of Ask an Engineer. Maybe we should do hug reports.
You want to do hug reports?
Maybe
Okay.
we should do hug reports for outstanding community members, because you know what? I do complain a little bit about crummy people in the community who make it terrible for everyone because they're toxic jerks. So maybe instead, in addition to that, I should say, here's a hug report for,
let's do a hug report.
for someone who's...
Or maybe it's someone who wrote some software. Maybe it's someone who wrote a tutorial. Maybe a project that we thought was really cool.
Yeah, because I do think some things should be completely destroyed because they're awful.
So can we
And
say,
then you can build
and
something
you
on
are
top
the
of it.
hug of the week.
Hug of the week or something. I don't know if it's going to be called hug reports.
I know.
But maybe we should start doing that, like community member, someone who's helped out quite a bit.
I know, but you're just going to say Tony DeCole every week.
No, that's not fair.
I know.
No, this week, Eric, for always asking really good engineering questions.
I remember when you were at Make and you had the Mitch Altman Award.
Yeah.
For community. It was the Mitch Altman Award for
Yeah.
community members, and the first winner was Mitch Altman, and then anybody else who would win would basically just win the same award that was named after Mitch Altman because he was so cool.
I don't believe they carried forward the Mitch Altman Awards after I left. I think that was it.
But you gave it at least 1 year.
You
did it.
There was a few things that I think are still.
You did give away the Mitch Altman Award to Mitch Altman.
Didn't
you?
I don't remember
You don't
anymore.
remember? Okay.
There's so many things that either I did or I wanted to do, but the Mitch Altman Award was an idea because he is a saint-like entity that's gone around the world and has
Could it be
made.
that you didn't actually do it and you just wanted them to do it and they didn't do it? I don't know.
No, it's a long story.
Okay.
That I probably can't talk about.
Whatever.
All right. So, anyways.
Well, sorry if I misremembered.
If you see Mitch, congratulate him on the Mitch Altman Award because that'll just, no matter what, that's cool.
That's cool.
Because he won the Mitch Altman Award. He's Mitch Altman.
But he did, yes, he did. Just by existing, he has won the Mitch Altman Award.
Yeah.
For being the most Mitch Altman.
Yeah. All right. Okay, folks. Well, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Don't forget the code is FM0Logger. Happy 200th birthday, Ada Lovelace. You're right about what you said. This brain of yours is something more than merely mortal, as time will tell. And time did. Okay. Here's a picture of a cat. And here's your moment of Zener.